Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid Moeddin, and this is a show where we talk about the test series between Pakistan and South Africa. Now, second test, day two. Pakistan, I think, are in the driving seat right now after another batting collapse from the Proteas. We're sitting here in front of you, I think, for the last few weeks now and talking about the same things, the same mistakes over and over and over again. And it's not the best thing to be a South African supporter right now. I think it's one of those situations where, yes, okay, not every single time will it be the batsman's fault, but you kind of make your own luck in a way, I think. And because of so many bad performances, when you do get unlucky, I think fans just throw it in the same bracket because, it's been bad performances for so long. And every single time we go to the subcontinent, we learn new things, but then we don't really learn from the things that we've learned. So I don't understand how we move forward or if we ever are going to move forward. But we're going to get a panel on to discuss that today. I mean, obviously, there were two massive games on. Obviously, England took on India as well. And I want to know what we can learn from that maybe, because I never got to watch it. And I know Aditya and Kiki Connoisseur will have had their eyes on those matches more than the Proteas matches, whereas me and Paul were obviously suffering at the hands of watching the Proteas. So first and foremost, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell for all future videos. Join the Patreon community. Join this community. This platform is yours as well. The links are in the description as well. So let's talk about the match. I'm going to introduce you first and foremost to Umpo because I'm going to start with the South African contingent first. Then I'm going to go with Aditya, and then last but not least, Mr. Cricket Connoisseur. So welcome to the show, guys. Really excited to speak to all. I want to get Umpo's thoughts
How
first.
did England end up winning the toss in India? Like, what's going on? Has Virat Kohli lost his mojo?
Magic. That's all it was. And we'll talk about England in due course. I mean, I would love to discuss Dom Sibley's knock at length, boys, but we are talking South Africa today.
I know you're going to want to talk about your man, Dom, but let's not talk about him yet. Let's talk about South Africa first. And Paul, I want you to weigh in on a few things.
What must happen?
I don't know. It's like I saw a tweet today saying that I don't know why we persist with exactly the same batsmen that are failing every single time, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a massive."
It's a definition of I don't know, idiocy. I don't want to call them idiots, but it's idiocy to do the same thing over and over again. I'm quoting a tweet. I'm not saying the Proteas are idiots. Over and over again, expecting the same result. Yes, we need to give them propensity, the ability to learn from your mistakes, to grow as individuals. They're humans as well. It's just frustrating because you know that they're talented, but it requires hard work, which is why I'll always like the way in which I look at this team. Sometimes I sit there going, the top four that we have put so much pressure on everyone else in the batting order that guys aren't able to play their natural game. Quinton hasn't played his natural game in years because he's always trying to bail the team out. You know, he's always trying to figure out a way to dig the team out of a hole, to get them into a respectable position. Temba's been put under pressure for so many years, and today's another example of just 86 for 4. What are they supposed to do? What is Temba and Quinton? Like, honestly, what are people expecting from Temba and Quinton to do when the top four just wilts away? It's just wilting away. There's only one good ball in that session. That was the Hassan Ali to Rassie van der Dussen situation. Everything else, they should be disappointed at that. And to a certain extent, there comes a point where you got to ask, understand everyone loves talented players. He's the next best thing. But sometimes maybe Eddie Moore's the answer. Eddie Moore could be the answer. Just give him an opportunity. Peter Malan could be the answer, because if you look at, if you contrast it to England, Dom Sibley scored 80 runs off how many balls?
280 plus.
Exactly. Like, guys, sometimes you just need to forget the fact that you're the most talented kid in the room, that you've been given every single thing since you've arrived on the scene. Just bat it out. Like a little swaft over to mid wicket doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Faf du Plessis, like, honestly, like, guys, if he wants to be in the Proteas, I know Faf is one of those guys who works hard, and it gets hard at the beginning of the innings, but sometimes the guys, honestly, when you know that this is what is required, can't you buckle down? Like, look at the way Baba Azam and Fahad Alam batted and try and apply. It's like and Bacha said this in the press conference before the game. It's sometimes you just need to watch the opposition bat first, and then you then apply yourself with the same techniques. Did they watch them, or were they just letting them, like it's very frustrating, especially after, and this is why I didn't like. I want to talk about Anders Pfeiffer. I don't want to talk about the batting because like it dampened such an incredible performance. The first time where somebody was actually accurate with the short ball, accurate with his lengths and his lines, that new ball really helped him. And then we're talking about the fact that our top order and middle order, or top middle order, is just doesn't want to play, doesn't want to bat.
Yeah, I can forgive someone. Okay, I'm being very lenient here, but I can forgive a guy like Dean Elgar for making a stupid mistake like he did. I think pushing away from your body at so early on in the innings at fast bowlers that are moving the ball around is a very, very dangerous move to make so early on in an innings. So yeah, but he's been so good for us. I mean, he's the best opener in the world at the moment. I mean, if you look around the world. So in the last 2-3 years, with regards to runs and average. Yes, he is.
I can think of someone who may be taking his crown soon, boys.
Okay. Let's not get into that yet.
But consistency, yeah.
But with consistency, and he's done it now in the subcontinent. He's doing it at home. The conditions don't really seem to bother Dean. He's just the guy that fights through. But I think, obviously, today
you can give Dean a pass. You can give Dean a pass because
exactly.
He comes in time and time again. It's Aiden. It's Rassi's also on the chopping block, even though he got an incredible ball. I can't fault him, but the numbers aren't adding up. Timber needs to review his position. He's got a massive innings tomorrow morning to try and figure it out. Quinny can bat the way Quinny wants to bat because Quinny's been our best batsman over the past 4 to 5 years. But
you see, it's Quinny's form it's not about where he's batting. He's gonna come out of the crease and he's gonna bat the same way. Doesn't matter where that's just going to the cock.
Which is why this team needs a rethink. Like when we come back to South Africa, the selectors must sit down and this team needs a rethink. On commentary today on Grill, I was like, guys, maybe we need to figure out what roles we want out of the top 6. So for instance, if you want a fighter, if you want 2 fighters, one's Dean, the other one's probably going to bat at number 3. Go find that guy. Don't find a guy who's a natural stroke maker. Go find someone who's going to sit there and frustrate the opposition.
And stroke makers at 4 and 4 and 5 and 6.
But everyone needs to and have clear roles, clear plans, and communicate that to everyone. It's okay if you sit in a press conference and you're asking, and the captain goes, "No, but Dean's the guy who's supposed to hold up an end for us. Aiden's the guy who's supposed to score to play freely," and go through all of this so everyone knows and everyone understands. Because right now, everybody, it seems like everyone's just trying to play natural game, trying to get themselves out of jail. They feel like it feels as though they are being attacked, and they walk in like it's 100, it's not for 3 or something like that, and they just it's like Pakistan's bowling on a different pitch. Meanwhile, Naman Ali's giving long hops that are being pulled across the line. It's just disappointing because you just sit there going, okay, fine, let's go back to basics. We've got 6 months until our summer. Let's now, in the winter, add. Let's work. Who do we want in what position, and what does it look like? Does it mean giving youngsters a chance? If it is, then by all means give youngsters a chance. If it means bringing a Kolpak back, by all means bring a Kolpak back, but stick to a plan. Let us know what the plan is, and then let's go forward. If Faf needs to stay, then Faf needs to stay. If somebody needs to leave, then somebody needs to leave. But we can't continue doing this all over again. And if one person doesn't travel well, and plays well at home, then don't pick him when you go overseas.
Yeah. So my thing is, maybe if we're looking at moving Quinton up and we're looking at maybe doing all of these things, what about the prospect? I've seen this question going around, and I'm going to ask you this, Aaron. What about maybe Aiden moving down to 4 and getting a solid opening batsman that can also play a gritty type of game at the top of the order, right-handed, left-handed combination. Someone like Sarel Irvia, someone who Eddie Moore, someone that has that fighting type of spirit, batting them, build the foundation. Because when you play strategy games, you work on your defense first. Make sure that you don't lose a wicket is the first and foremost what we have to do. They have to take the Mourinho mantle and maybe build a pass on the top, and this take the defensive mindset and just defend it first. First, make sure that you're not going to lose a wicket for the first 10, 12 overs, and not because I feel that Aiden is the type of guy that also wants to come to the crease and play. And play his natural game as well. At the moment, he's forced to play a game that is not necessarily suited to him. Then he ends up going out for 50 ball 30 or 60 ball 30, not really getting to a 30 and fighting to those runs. Whereas he's the type of guy that wants to do what Quinton did today, but instead of reverse sweeping, driving it through the covers. What's your thoughts of that? Maybe as an opportunity to change things around in South Africa. I don't think they know what they want to do, what type of approach they want to have, and I don't think it is adaptable to different conditions. Or what's your cure?
Well, again, it comes back to Mpo's point, and it's a point that we've made on multiple shows now, and it is a lack of identity. What does this South Africa team want to achieve with that batting lineup? Because we keep on saying natural game, but there isn't any clarity as to each role, each position per se. Look at England, and I know England aren't the top right now, so we'll choose a New Zealand, for example. New Zealand are the exact same. You have Latham, who gets you off to a fantastic start. Williamson, I know that he is just an absolute freak of nature per se. You've got Ross Taylor acts as an anchor, and then you've got guys who can come up through the middle order, the likes of Henry Nichols, Colin de Grandhomme if necessary, Daryl Mitchell, and they can actually give you a bit of impetus, a bit of momentum. And BJ Watling, again, another anchor, someone who can just, consolidate New Zealand's position. So if you look at the real truly top teams in the world right now, they have that clarity. And it's something that we keep on saying. We've said it for weeks. When was the last time we didn't mention it? I think we were on about it well back in the England series in 2019 as well. It's been going on for over a year now. So that's something. Instead of this complete overhaul and rethink with regards to players and positions, this, that, the other, that's the first thing that needs to be achieved. That's something that the coaching staff, Smith, Boucher, that think tank needs to come up with. Where are we taking South African cricket? That is the first step. And once you've got that step, then you build, then you put in the pieces of the jigsaw. But until you've got that foundation, that's not possible, because you're going to be just rotating iffy, bitty here and there. You're going to be rotating a couple of players for different conditions. That isn't the way forward. You need a solid skeletal structure. And now whether that's around Quinton de Kock, whether that is around Aidan Markram, whether he's opening with Dean Elgar, or if he did drop into middle order, which I suppose you could make an argument for, given Sarel Irfair. You've got Peter Malan, who looked fantastic in the England series personally. So that is something that could be achieved in the future. But again, it comes back to that cornerstone, which is the identity. And until that happens, it's all well and good saying we'll bring in Van Tonder, we'll bring in Verreynne, we'll bring in Keegan Peterson, Irve, Malan, etc., etc. But if we're not giving them clear, clarified roles, what's the point of bringing them in? Like that's the entire point. It's all well and good having talent. But a fantastic example of this, actually, I'll come back to England, is James Hildreth. Now, for people who've seen county cricket, James Hildreth has been one of the greatest first-class cricketers in this country by a mile. He's got the most runs in the last decade. He's a brilliant middle-order batsman, but he hasn't ever got an England cap. And the reason why is because he doesn't fit our identity. We have the likes of an Ollie Pope, for example, who's a bit more free-flowing, a bit more free-scoring in that middle order. So I think he's a fantastic example. And realistically, again, it's so cliche, but it's just not going in. It's not hammering home just yet. You have to have that identity, that game plan, that thing that makes South African cricket unique. And I feel like at the moment, you look at this team in comparison to South African teams of old, they don't have that. So for me, before we say any drastic changes, any drastic rotations, this, that, the other, that's the first thing that needs to be done. And if South Africa can do that, even if the results don't come automatically, you're setting a good foundation, a good base layer for the future to go on to succeed in Test match cricket.
That's why for South Africa, I don't like them using the word smart. because that's word smart is almost like a fallback in a way to say, no, we're trying something
It's a get out of jail.
for this condition. Yeah, it's a get out of jail free card because you can play whatever way you want to, whatever identity. It's just like a cover up for the identity that you're trying to play because you don't want to commit to a specific identity. Aditya, this question is going to come to you because I think this is something that you can answer because the guy that I'm going to mention right now, you actually wanted him to be captain and remain captain. What are your thoughts on Faf? Is his time over like some people in the comments section are saying?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Look, I think you look at what Faf has done for the Test team since Callis retired. Let's go back to 2013. Faf was supposed to be the automatic replacement of Callis, right? And after 20 Test matches, Faf was averaging 51, probably the second after Smith, after 20 matches. So he was supposed to be that number 3 replacement. He had the technique for it, he had the temperament for it, and he was a like-for-like cricketer, right? But what happened in the aftermath was that with AB taking a 2-year break, Smith retiring, and a bunch of new players coming in, inexperienced, he had to rotate between 3, 4, and 5. So if you look at Faf's career over a 9-year period, he actually hasn't had a definite position that he could have nailed down. And on top of that, he got the captaincy he was named as a temporary captain because of the uncertainty around AB's future, Test future. And then we can also say that he probably had to deal with more off-field crises than virtually any Test captain in the last 20 years. So to me, I feel like, a significant talent, a fantastic batsman, and incredible captain has really sort of been underutilized, and now we're coming to a point where he feels a bit liberated, perhaps, after all the stresses that he's gone through over the last 3 years. And let's not forget that 3 matches ago he scored 199. It may not be against a depleted Sri Lankan attack, but that depleted Sri Lankan attack also engineered an 84 for 9 collapse in the next Test match. So perhaps it wasn't as ineffective as people might have thought. Now, look, today, Faf came on when Hassan Ali and Shaheen Shah Afridi were bowling, and he looked in perfectly good touch. So that straight boundary of Shaheen Shah Afridi was pure class. But I guess that, he played nominally. That was a brain-fade moment, poor shot selection. But I think to suggest that Faf du Plessis' career is over and he has no place in this team is misinformed. And I don't support that at all.
What about number 3 for him, Bo? Is he maybe the number
3? He's our number 3. The problem with Faf is that, and as Aditya has mentioned, he's gone through different plans from different coaches who've come in and told him he's the Mr. Fix-It of this team, where he patches where everyone else is because of the versatility that he has as a batsman. He should always bat at 3 across all formats except for T20 should open. But obviously the way South Africa is, he will bat at 3. And to a certain extent, like, people make mistakes, and I think Faf and the guys made mistakes. It's just those guys who are repeating their mistakes. It's just a problem. But my point is, and I think that's what we need to do, is they need to sit down and they need to figure out where they want to go with him. They need to bring him in and ask him where he wants to bat. If they want to build a team around him, they need to build a team around him. Right now, I feel Mark and Thor are chasing wins. They're chasing legacy. They're not chasing chasing their legacy, not necessarily the legacy of South Africa. And I say this in the kindest of ways because I honestly do feel that if you're looking to the future, this team would look solely different. They've been fighting against a lot of the pressures that normally happen from a South African context, but you still get a similar looking 11 to the 11 that has traveled the world and struggled 18 months ago. And to a certain extent, the question is are you going to then, is your coaching going to make them better? Or if that's the case, then that's on you. Or you're just saying these guys are experienced and they can win they can win test matches, and if that's what you're looking for, then that's fine. But sometimes somebody needs to press the reset button, go through the pain, and come out. I just feel that they're not willing to do that, and they're gonna. And I feel as they might say this period is the pain to get out, but then we don't know what the plan is. We don't know where the bus is driving to. We don't know what's going on. To a certain extent, I think yes, we're calling for other guys who are sitting outside the team who are coming, who probably need to get an opportunity. But I wouldn't want them to get an opportunity in a team like this where it's like everyone always says you want young players to come and play their natural game, but the problem is if you put, and this is the one thing that I've always will back Timber for, is that he's always coming at a time where where he can't play his natural game because South Africa are in a hole. And that century that he played in England, that he got against England, that was Timber's natural game. England, the top four had battered England into the ground, and he came through and he just added more pain. But ever since, outside of that, every time it's 100 for 4, 100 for 3. He's always good. He's always playing the anchor role, which is against his natural game, but it's something that he's wanting to play. And you don't want young guys falling into the trap of coming in at 4 and 5. Let's say you want to get Kyle Verreynne in. Kyle Verreynne at an 81 for 4. What are we expecting for him if he's coming in at 6 in a situation like this? There's not much. If he can score a handy 50, that'll be great, but he's probably losing batsmen around him. And so you kind of need to build this team in a different way. See this team in a different way, not just go with the same old. And I feel like the China chase wins. It just feels like they're not trying to look to 2025 to 2026 or even to the next World Test Championship. They're just looking now.
Yeah. Now, that's about the batting, and we can keep on talking about the batting, but it's a very, very special day for someone. Anrich Nokia taking his first 5 for.
No, wait, hold up. It's your birthday. Hold up. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Khalid.
Thanks.
It's
Happy birthday,
Nokia
brother.
later, but happy birthday, man. All the best.
No.
I thought that was
And
the
everyone,
transition.
please subscribe.
Thanks a lot, guys. No,
Please-
thanks in the guys in the
please
comments as well for
subscribe
that.
And make Khalid
Make his birthday.
Yes, just let's get to 1,000. How many people do you need? 5,000. Let's get to 5,000 today, everyone. Tell your friends, tell your family.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot for that. Let's talk about Anrich Nokia. It's the first 5-4 away from home, third 5-4 in his career. Excellent performance from him. I think he stuck to the game plan 100%. It's almost like he watched our video yesterday, because that's exactly what we asked him to do, and he executed it perfectly. Do you think there's something maybe a niggle maybe with KG or something? Because I saw his paces were very, very down. It was 128 kilometers per hour at some point consistently, and he was struggling a bit today. I think, from my perspective, I don't know if that's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's lack of playing time, all of those things. What is your thoughts on, first and foremost, what is your thoughts on Anrich? And then I want to go straight to Aditya to give our insights on what he said in his press conference.
Anrich was just incredible. I said it yesterday. Just bowl, body line at the stumps, try to get them out, and he did it well. Second ball was outside the off stump. Luckily, there was no foot movement. It's one of those wickets you get at the start of the day where you just are cold. But if that's going to be the game plan for him to be the enforcer, then be the enforcer, and he did it well. And that could be a game plan for South Africa going traveling in Asia, is that Anrich is just so quick that he'll trouble any batsman on any surface. I loved how they were accurate. That whole shoulder line, just making the batsman uncomfortable. That was really, really good.
Aditya, what was his assessment of his performance and of the pitch as well? Because we really want to know about that.
Yeah. So he was obviously very proud of his performance, and it was special to him because you work so hard towards making a notable performance in the subcontinent over a period of time, and to be able to do it after his series in India was special to him. From a pitch point of view, he felt like early on there was bounce on offer, but bowling conditions were best when they had the new ball in hand, and that was when he was able to execute his short ball plan as well. With that said, he did say that when the ball gets a bit older and softer, the pitch will play a few tricks. It's like we saw with Rassi van der Dussen. The ball that got him, it stayed incredibly low, and so that sort of thing is likely to happen. And so variable bounce will play a role in the next couple of days. But neither Andrik nor Fahim Ashraf really know how much the pitch is going to deteriorate next couple of days, because it does appear as if both teams are uncertain about how the pitch is going to play.
And I don't know. I know he can't really speak about the batting that much. I mean, he probably wouldn't have had an answer. But did he give some sort of sense into that?
First off, he said that 272 is perhaps a gettable total for the South Africans, and it was unfortunate that they lost 4 wickets early on. But he's fairly confident that one sizable partnership can get them over that 272, and then obviously anything over that is perhaps a bonus for them, given the situation that they're in right now.
I mean, 166 run partnership between Temba and Quinton, and then whatever happens after that.
Not 166. You want like a 300 run partnership between these two. They need to bat the entire day tomorrow and a bit of day 4.
Of course, that's ideal. But what I'm saying is, if they could get at least 166 run partnership, cut down the lead, and then obviously, of course, then we have still Vian Mulder coming in, George Linder with his broken finger coming in. Okay, that's not broken, but I mean, it's a little nick. Yeah. And then we can still have a little bit of Maharaj there coming in with another 50 there, showing his class. And then, Andrik Nokia with the neat 50 there too. Like
batting at number 10.
Thanks a lot for the super chat, Tato. Thanks, saying happy birthday. Thank you a lot for that, brother. And from your perspective, okay, and I think we've spoken about South Africa for insane amount of time. I think it's time now to learn from you guys. And I want to hear a little bit of a debate between you and Aditya going over here. In this particular match, what was key to that particular amazing performance from England? I mean, I think it's quite a decent, obviously a very decent performance. South Africa would love to be in the position that England's in right now. What's up with you guys, man? How come they
won the toss? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
They won the toss.
It's true. That is very, very true. Imagine if we lost, it probably would be a completely different story. Like India would probably
scoreline other team.
Yeah, but like 300 for 2. Yeah. It probably would have been, but that's the thing with Chennai, isn't it? It's a typical Chennai track. It's one which starts off appearing very flat, but heading into day 3, day 4, it's going to turn into an absolute minefield for the bowlers. It's going to be full of holes, full of rough for the spinners to really turn corners with. It's going to be a nightmare, so I'm glad that we got some runs today. In terms of answering your question there, Khalid, one man in particular, of course, Joe Root, 128 not out, in scintillating form so far, 3 consecutive centuries. He's been on 49 50-plus scores now since the first game in Gaul. He's just been in incredible form, and he's definitely been the linchpin for England heading into not only this series, but of course beyond that. We've got a massive, massive summer ahead. Series against India again, Aditya. We're going to be getting quite familiar over 2021. Got 9 matches altogether. Got 2-match series against New Zealand, and then of course, an absolute showpiece at the end, the Ashes, which fingers crossed England can do well in. But I do just want to give a massive, massive shout out to my opening batsman, Dominic Sibley. I have to, because Ian Bell said it on Twitter. I think he put it best. Dom Sibley playing his natural game, which is being almost the bastion, the real gritty, determined. You know, I mentioned Fawad Alam the other day with the first test in Karachi. That is Dom Sibley's role in this England team. He is he's like a rock. He's a mountain at the top of that order. He's absolutely brilliant. Been doing it for Warwickshire ever since 2017, replicating that beautifully on the international circuit since 2020 with that magnificent 133 in Cape Town. He's been averaging well over 40, 45 runs, which is astonishing to say the least. That's why I said maybe in a couple of years That's best opener could be up for debate. But today, again, it was just so much mental fortitude, so much toughness, so much grit. Considering the struggles that he had in Gaul, and everyone was saying, this guy can't play spin, he's useless, he should be dropped, this, that, the other, play Crawley instead of him. For him to have come out in Gaul, got a match-winning 56 not out alongside our captain, that's a massive motivational boost. And then to come out today in Chennai, which is notorious for being quite difficult for batsmen. I know that the pitch wasn't offering loads for the Indian seamers or the Indian spinners really today, but to come out there with that attitude, that over my dead body kind of mentality, something which South Africa could probably utilise actually heading into subcontinental test matches. It was an absolute masterclass. It really was. I was gutted to see him lose his wicket at the end. Well, what was it? 3 balls to go before the end of the day, and Jasprit Bumrah with an absolute peach, late bit of swing, trapped in LBW. Maybe you can argue the footwork wasn't there from Sibley, going a bit too defensive. But my word, that was special. That was really, really special. I know he was 13 runs away, but for myself as a Warwickshire fan, and of course as an England fan, what an innings and what a player. And fingers crossed he can use this as a springboard.
I never got to watch any of the match at all, so that's unfortunate from my side. But what is the pitch like exactly? Is it something that's going to maybe spin later on?
It should do. Aditya, would you agree?
Historically, yes, but a number of experts have said that even for a first day pitch, it's been lacking that traditional spice that a Chennai pitch has had, and perhaps that's because Chennai has got a new curator, and maybe he's finding his feet as well. So
potentially, is that just an excuse, Aditya?
That's
not at all.
So we're blaming the curator that
No,
he didn't get
not
the
at
pitch
all.
that Virat Kohli didn't want.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, on another show, I said that India is going to win 4-0. No offense, Aaron.
They better not. I mean, I'm hoping we get at least one win. I don't think we're going to win the series at all, but fingers crossed we get one. Jeez.
If you win the toss, Aaron, keep winning the toss. Take whatever lucky charm, whatever Root did this morning. You just need to keep that going. That 263 is worth gold. It's just, it's unbelievably, it's so important. Like the pitch will get crazier, and like right now, you guys are in an incredible position. And you love Dom Sibley because of that. Like, he's odd, he's unorthodox, he's weird. I love Rory Burns. Sorry, man, myself. But you know, I kind of feel like, you know, those two just make England seem so like there's no worry. You're calm. It's a state of calm at the top of the order. That 50-run partnership early on in the day. You know, that's what you want, a springboard.
Burns is a creepy stance.
Yeah.
Burns is a creepy stance. Look here, Aditya, I want to know your thoughts on India. I know that 263, but if it's not a spinning pitch and it hasn't been spinning from ball one like we got when we played in India, I know it's on different conditions, but I mean, I know it's different conditions and different, completely different tracks, of course.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then I mean, then is 263 really that great? Was it more of a batting wicket?
See, it was a brilliant batting performance. Can't take anything away from England. And generally, as a cricket fan, I'm happy to see an overseas team do well and, you know, pose a challenge. I would be the last person to enjoy, you know, a traditional dust ball wicket like we had in 2015. So I'm very happy to see it, and it was an absolute masterclass on how to play spin, because Ashwin is at the top of his game. We've got Shahbaz Nadeem as well, young and experienced spinner, but absolutely outstanding from Root. There was this passage of play where Ashwin is a bit tired, you know, tough conditions, and Root generally he was finding the sweep as one of his main scoring options, and then there were these 2 loose balls. This was around the time that Root was in his 40s, and boom, 2 boundaries straight away. First ball was a pull towards mid-wicket boundary. Second ball went on the back foot, down through extra cover, another boundary. Absolutely outstanding. So he played low-risk cricket, didn't do anything fancy, and found a way to score runs. Masterclass. So I guess that chat that he might have had with Callis before the Sri Lanka series must have helped him.
Hey! Don't bring up scores. Yeah.
This is not Callis. This is all rude. This is all Joe. The man scored 8,000 test runs. Callis is coming for the back end.
Joe Root also has, like, up until this point, Joe Root has had a pretty poor sort of conversion record. I think Aaron would agree.
Yes,
He was
that's true.
notorious
Absolutely.
for scoring the most scintillating, aesthetically pleasing 50, and then, just getting out to, pretty poor shot. And he didn't score an international 100 in 2020. First home summer that he hasn't scored 100. So for him to come back out and really score a double 100 and then get to 186 and now 128, he's obviously a brilliant batsman. But there are some tweaks that he's making, and he is evolving in that big four, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Root's one of my favorites.
Good choice.
He does look like a crier, but other than that, he's a person that I really support. He's a guy I really enjoy watching bat. I respect him. I like his press conferences as well. He really respected us when he was here. He was really good with us in the comments. The difficult questions were getting thrown his way, even though he wasn't top. But there was a lot of difficult questions, and the way he deals with the media and the relationship he has with the media, top class. I love it. Human as well. Oh, okay, but it's a different game altogether. It's Mark Wood with the media. He's hilarious. I love it. It was one of the most entertaining press conferences ever with Mark Wood. So we used to have Quinny. We used to have a Quinny that used to do that, put on performances in press conferences and say the most outrageous things. But now he's a captain. And now he's a lot more straightforward. And it's almost like it's given
Bring back
Quinny.
Bring back.
Yeah, we want the old Quinny back. I promise you, the media liaison used to be under the pump. Every time Quentin walked into a press conference, you could see the sweat on her forehead. She knew she didn't know what's gonna happen. So it was one of the most entertaining things ever. Whereas with a guy like the same with Dean now these days. Dean is again very honest and open and honest. He'll say exactly what it's like and what it is. But he's witty and funny, but he doesn't say things that he's not supposed to. Connie used to say things that he's not supposed to, and it used to be the best. Sorry, Aditya, I cut you off over there.
Yeah, I was saying that Faf is remarkable at press conferences also.
Oh, he's fantastic. Now he's the perfect example of how you should be in a press conference. Sometimes, 15-minute. When you walk into a Faf press conference, that you must maybe take a cup of coffee or tea with you, or maybe a bite to eat, because by the time you come out of there, it's already so you walk in there 8 o'clock and come out there with that. No, it's like he's brilliant, in depth. I like the way he treated me as a young journalist coming into the press box. The way he treated me when I asked questions, it's almost like he knew, man. Like he knew that I'm a younger journalist, and sometimes I used to physically see him shuffle in his seat and try to give an even more comprehensive answer, because he can. I don't know. He's just brilliant at reading a situation. Sorry, Aditya, I cut you off again. Just complete what you wanted to say.
What I really liked about Faf, and it's something I haven't heard any other international cricketer do, was when he became captain. He took a bunch of leading South African journalists, out to dinner and drinks, and he said to them that, this is your team as well. It's everyone's team, and I want us to function in a way whereby we have like a productive relationship of sorts. And I thought that to do that in countries where typically players are suspicious of the media and media trying to get headlines and so on, I thought that was fantastic, and it highlighted his brilliant sort of diplomatic strategy, to ensure that his players are protected. But on the other hand, he also knows that he's got to give content to the media. So fantastic. Loved it.
Yeah.
Love the man. Yeah, but it's true. Like, I've got many stories about Faf. I'm not gonna say much, but yeah.
You and Shay together, my lord. Where is Shane today, actually? I would have loved to hear his thoughts on England. That would have been excellent because he always has a very interesting take on things and finding learning curves. He's very good at doing that. And yeah, anyway, I think there's a lot that South Africa can obviously learn from England. I think South Africa's in a case now, in a situation now where we need Quinton. I think it's the perfect scenario for Quinton right now, actually, because just to shut up everybody. Because after that, the whole debacle about whether he wanted the captaincy, doesn't want the captaincy, whether it was forced or not forced, all of those things came into the equation. People blaming that on his performances, people blaming his position in the batting order as the lack of performances, and a whole lot of things were coming out here. And if he can come out today and tomorrow, sorry, and put on a proper performance. I think the most important thing right now would be to score quickly. I know everybody's thinking, yes, we must grind it out and last as long as possible. But if we can put on a quick 50 over here, a quick century over here, something like that, with Temba rather doing the anchoring role at the other end, we can really put ourselves in a very strong position so that Vian Mulder can come out, play his natural game. George Linder can come out, play his natural game. And then we can really put ourselves in a strong position. And it's possible. With the day, it's not over for South Africa yet. We're only 4 down. I don't think we should panic because, both of these guys, both Vian, more George than Vian, have come out for their domestic sides in difficult situations, under pressure, and have taken the score to different levels. And I think
the Cobras have been in a hole the whole season, so there's nothing much you could do.
But then again, he had Calvin with him, and Calvin is a master of these situations.
But that's what Timber has done over the past years. He's shepherded, even in the last test, he shepherded the tail to try and get to some sort of a competitive score. But the most important thing for me is what Quinton does on the other end. He needs to protect. Yes, he needs to score runs, but the most important thing, protect your wicket at all costs. You cannot, especially in that get through the first hour. The ball's going to bounce up and down. Get through that first hour and protect your wicket at all costs to try and give South Africa as much. I know Quinton will always score. He looks to score. He's a natural scorer. So if he spends as much time on the wicket as possible, 2-3 hours, he'll score 100. But we need him to be able to give Temba enough of a platform to be able to shepherd and allow the guys coming up to counter punch to Pakistan. This is the most important thing part in the game where you now are trying to look for jabs. It's small little jabs in and around the body to try and get the momentum going again. But it's really, that first hour is just crucial.
Cool. Okay, Aditya and Aaron, I want you guys to have your final say before we say bye to the fans.
Very important for Quinton and Temba to continue tomorrow and just sort of ride out the tough situations, because they don't want to take undue risk. While Quinton was fantastic today, scoring 24 of 11. Perhaps he may want to sort of rein it in and play more chanceless innings before he can capitalize on the momentum he's got. But I am optimistic, and I do believe that South Africa can get to and cross 272.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Aditya, to be honest. And look at the last game, for example. Pakistan went from 27-4 and went on to win the game. So don't give up hope, Proteas fans. Okay, you've still got batting depth in there, as Khalid, you've mentioned as well. Linder and Mulder can bat. So fingers crossed, I keep my hopes up for the Proteas fans out there that you can get a good partnership between Temba Bavuma and Quinton de Kock. It'd be fantastic to see Quinton get some quick fire runs, put on an absolute show in Rawalpindi. And yet, to be honest, it should be setting up for a very, very nice conclusion to what's been an entertaining series. I must admit, I'm a neutral in this. I like both South African and Pakistan cricket. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. Bit disappointed about the pitch in Rawalpindi. I can't lie. I wish it was a bit more of a seamless paradise. Could have seen Ralph and Afridi versus Norkin Rabada, but that's just my personal view. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, South Africa consolidate their position, get past that 272, put together a decent lead in an ideal world. And yes, as I said, should be a fantastic conclusion to the series.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. I enjoyed every single minute of it. Thanks a lot for all the comments in the comment section. Sorry I didn't get to all of them. Thanks a lot to Mpo. Thanks a lot to Aaron. Thanks a lot to Aditya for coming on the show. I always enjoy your opinions as well. I'll probably be back again tomorrow with a review, hopefully. Like, comment, share, subscribe, guys. Do all of those things. We need your likes, so smash that like button so that we can get into the algorithms. It's 32 of you guys are currently tuning in and watching right now live. So smash that like button. I want to see it go up a little bit. Don't forget to download the latest issue of the magazine. Subscribe to the magazine. It's 100% free. The next issue is coming out on Monday. Don't forget to go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates as well. We have full reports over there for you guys to see, and as well as Aditya's reaction pieces of the press conference. If you guys want to be a part of this community and grow with us and help us grow this channel, because it is your home to talk cricket, go to our Patreon account. Become a patron today. It would be the best birthday present in the world if you guys sign up to the Patreon account and become a patron. Please go ahead and do so. And if you guys have a small business looking to make sales online, even if your business is offline, we have a free tutorial for you on this channel. So go ahead and see how we can help you promote your business and how you can improve your business by yourself if you want to as well. We give you the information away for free. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again tomorrow with another review show. Hopefully, South Africa have put on a solid lead by the time I speak to you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.